So I'm doing it. I'll be pioneer leading if if I wasn't like, I have to not getting it right. The process of getting it wrong can be beneficial. It can be even more beneficial, like the go for no kind of process there. Exploring new ideas, like constantly just pushing forward and being like, hey, I did this last time, but now I'm continuing to keep moving forward. Like, I think that's why I got mad with Rich in the podcast. I'm like, he's moving forward again. Just when I thought I was catching up, he's going forward again, and he's doing it like in a way, like in a, I think that the pioneer leading would be me being authentic, real, vulnerable around the challenges that I'm going through. I think if I was being a pioneer leader, I would also surround myself with other pioneer leaders, and really approach it from there. Changing the nature of the conversation, so having conversations most people wouldn't have. It feels like it's like new, different. Being engaged in conversations. If I was really pioneer leading, I would be doing a lot of the same things I'm doing, but visibly. But being visible means like I've noticed recently, I've stopped recording anything, because I'm like, oh, it's not getting out into the world. It's not that I don't like the conversations, and it's not like I'm afraid of recording. I'm just not setting up the context for each conversation to be like, I'm going to record this and we're going to share it. Like that would be me being a pioneer leader. Like, to be like, I don't have to change anything, but just like out of the shadows.
Can I stop you for a second? Because what I'm hearing, it makes sense. And it's just like, so those are steps I will be taking. That's the strategy. That's the concept that I have. What I'm missing is like, what's going on inside yourself when you know you're not doing that? Okay. What a pioneer leader does when it's just like, I know what I should be doing. What are you experiencing inside yourself? What is the frustration you're experiencing, and how you break through that loneliness or that contradiction or that, okay, I'm not doing it. So for example, okay? Yeah. So that's what I'm curious about. So how a pioneer leader, besides knowing what he needs to do and he doesn't do it, how does he deal with, and what happens inside? What is the emotion you have?
Okay, so I'll answer that question and that question only right now, because the how do you overcome it is a completely different question. Mm-hmm. And so let's first see. So I mean, they feel they do this. They try and find more information. Like if I'm talking about it, do you want to know about the feelings, or do you want to know about the actions they take when they're feeling like they're not pioneer leading?
Both.
Okay. Thank you. That gives me some space to play. But like the first thing that they try and find more information. They try and get it right. They read another book. They listen to another podcast. They watch another thing. They consume. They get into consuming mode because they're like, maybe the answer is out there, and it's a lot easier to consume than it is to create. To be out there. They feel bad because they feel bad and they feel unsatisfied because there's no real answer to what they're looking for other than starting to do it. And at the same time, they know that they're stuck because they're like, I can't, I don't know how to do it. It's like, it's so overwhelming. They feel super overwhelmed. And at the same time, they also feel super unsatisfied because they're like, if I don't get this end thing, then I haven't really done the work that I need to do. How else do they feel? How do I feel? Let me say right now. I feel like I don't want to be isolated. I feel isolated as it is, and I isolate myself even further because I feel so misunderstood. And I'm like, I need to get away from everyone. I need to hibernate. I need to go away. I need to bunker down until I know, and then I can come back out into the world again. And so so my fear of being isolated and rejected makes me choose isolation and rejection. It looks nice in the sense of, learning and so on and so forth, but it's not really me being visible. It's me choosing past things. I try and rush through different phases, even though it's not the phase is not there. So when I'm in a phase of needing to reclude, and just get back to my core, I'm still trying to create on top of it rather than just saying, oh, this is the core part. Let me take the next week to just be back in my core. Okay, great. And now let me come out. Now winter's over, There's this feeling of guilt because you can be creating a huge impact in the world, and you really feel like there are people who need what you have to offer, and you know it. Not just like I'm at the point right now where I know it. Like I know that my pioneers they're feeling lonely and alone, you know, like both of those things. And I'm like, I'm gonna address it. And I feel like a fraud because I keep saying I'm gonna do it and I don't do it, you know. And as time goes on, rather than, you know, one of the things that we do is as time goes on, rather than just making it the simplest version to just get it out there, we actually conflate it and make it into this super complicated thing that has to, like, all the pieces need to come together, and it's like, well, what if this happens and what if that happens? And so basically we start getting really anxious about our future, and we spend more time trying to predict and control it versus like allowing what naturally happens, which is like, we don't know how to make things work. We don't know, like, but we just, like, it just does. And we, so basically we lose trust in ourselves. We lose trust in ourselves, and we start going to every other external means. We stop listening to our intuition. Breathing gets really shallow. Conversations get really shallow. Things that the depth of the person, of me, goes away. The groundedness of me goes away.
How truth is that?
A lot of the last things I've been saying about like the depth and all that, I feel that right now. I feel, not in this current moment, but I feel that, like, as I was walking away from the pioneer leading portion and just trying to be a leadership coach or something like that, you know, or attract my pioneers, you know, I felt like there was this shallowness that was taking place because people kept asking, like, I need you to give me that information in 6 minutes instead, you know. I'm like, do you know how hard it is just to create the content as it is? You know, I'm like, I don't know just yet.
So what is about this moment that is not, because what I'm hearing is that you're through a period where you feel you're not pursuing and pioneer leading, like as a stage, but you said now in this moment, that's not what you're experiencing. So what it's about this moment?
Yeah, okay.
That takes you away.
Yeah, I think what it is that, like, I don't know what it is in this moment. I can describe what, like, the feeling, the difference in feeling. I could feel like after the intensives, after every intensive, I always come back like fully aligned, and I'm like, this is what I stand for, this is what I do, this is where it is, you know, I'm there, you know. And right now, I feel like I'm able to get the same results for people, powerful coaching, like, you know, we're dancing, we're having fun. I'm bringing in all those different elements. But I don't feel rooted into, like, I'm tackling things in the way that a pioneer leader will tackle it. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm just gonna try and get to what it is. It feels to me that if I was really being the pioneer leader right now, like, the first question when I asked you when we came out to this call would it not have been like, so what's been up in your life? It would have been a lot more about how are you being. It would have been a lot more about, like, you and like on a deeper level. I acknowledged in my head as soon as I asked it, I was like, I am interested, but like I started the question in head. I started our conversation in head mode and not actually.
And what that trigger that starting the conversation that way?
It triggers that like it means that I'm not being really seen, and they're not really being seen.
What did it trigger in our dynamic? What dynamic did you create? What dynamic did we co-create for you starting the conversation that way? What do you think? Because that conversation, the start of this conversation was 70 minutes ago,
yeah, and
we are in the same conversation. So what did that create? You showing up that way?
Yeah, it created levity, it created creativity, I feel. Both with the Kit Kat dance, the Kit Kat break, and the lens stuff, like all those things there. It created an atmosphere of levity for the conversation, for us to have like meaningful, deep conversation without it feeling meaningful and deep, you know. And it allowed us both to just reconnect you know, um, and it had its place, you know. And then eventually, if I'm going to play this out a little bit further, eventually, like we got to a place where we came back, and I was like, all right, let's set up the context for like how we really want to do this conversation, and that like, and then we continued to go from there. But there was already an air of levity in the air that I felt like we could always like grab back onto as we were going deeper.
What question? So if you were pioneer leading, and I'm really using this very intentionally, how would you have started the conversation?
Yeah, let's see. So if I'm going to be very real with you, I skipped a step of how the conversation actually started. How it started was how I was feeling, and it started into. I came out like this is what's going on for me right now, and that's really how we started. And then I asked the question of you, in a sense. I think if I was pioneer leading in this conversation, I really don't know if anything would be different from that place. I think that there'd be like a different sense of like confidence in terms of like where I would be going with things or what I have behind me, if that makes sense. Hold on, I'm searching for this here because I know that there's an element of it. I'm not sure. Let's taking a second of it. I think in my mind, here goes something then. I think in my mind, a pioneer leader, like, just knows, you know, like it's always pioneer leading. And I think what's coming from me is like, I don't really know what would be different. And maybe it's because I haven't because I'm still looking at the line from this side. I feel like there's another edge to it all. You know, I feel like there's another part to it all. But in reality, I feel like it still created a space for us to talk about the things that really mattered. You know? And I showed up as I was, which I think is also a big part of it. Yeah, so I'm not necessarily sure. I don't know if I don't know what will be different. Like in this conversation, I'm like, is it because we're in this conversation that would be different? Is it that? It's like, yeah, I don't know. Like in conversation, this happens. Please.
I'm picking a contradiction here on your core philosophy. You said when someone says to you, "What do you do?" It's like, I do what I believe. I believe everyone is different. And the only common thing between all of us is that all of us are different, and it's about finding what is unique and who are you and what makes you you. And on the other side, you're trying to find common threads between pioneer leaders that make them equal. And that concept itself is moving away from the uniqueness of, not of each person, of each moment. And in this moment, I tell you how the conversation started. We started late. You thought it was a bit later. You called me on your phone. I was like, I don't care. Then we jumped into Zoom. I was just like living my day because tomorrow I have a day with this guy, and I had an amazing day with potential clients. And then it's just like, let's dance. Yeah, fuck hell, let's dance. And then you helped me to unlock something that was very difficult to me to grab on, and you helped me incredibly. And for me, that difference is not only about who you are, it's like how you read each moment and how you own to be different each moment besides the idea that you have. And I think the trap you're falling into is that you are destroying your own philosophy by trying to make a box of pioneer leading traits. That I do it with insatiable leaders as well. And I think you need to differentiate, like, what would make these people say, like, okay, there is something about this attitude that I relate with, and when it becomes like a barrier to not being them anymore. Like there is a part like, okay, I'll go into that, and once into that, I'm just like, okay, now let's play. Not like, oh no, now I need to go into this structured planning, whatever. If I have this trait, I need always to feel lonely because I'm pioneer leader. No, yeah, sometimes I do, and I'm attracted to this person. And once I'm in that battle, I'm okay.
Yeah, there's some deep stuff in there. I think that there's so much truth in that. Yeah, and I love, and I think that everything you said was just perfect. It's like the philosophy. Am I going against my own philosophy? Am I bucking it in there? It's like yes, some of them are lonely, but like it's about the difference. It's about being okay with that. And it's not this is how to be different. It's just me being different. In me being different, they will see certain parts of themselves that they would want. And it's not, and I think that's it. I think it's less about, if I'm getting less about teaching how do you be a pioneer leader, and instead just pioneer leading, and then having people come in and be like, I want more of that. What's going on? And be like, oh, that's a good question. What is going on? I'm just doing my thing. Yeah. And I'm speaking to you all as I'm doing it all. And I'm pioneer leading as I'm pioneer leading and creating stuff for pioneer leaders, and we're going to figure it out together because I don't know. We're all different.
Yeah. But now just came to mind, Reach is intensive. No one knows what's going to happen.
No one does.
Reach just attracts people based on a few things. Oh, I relate with what this guy says. I think this is unique. This triggers me. I'll go. And then something happens in a bubble, and then it's okay. And not everyone experiences the same thing. No one knows what's going to happen before we take a plane around the world, just 12 hours traveling to LA. We don't even know what's going to happen. And we just go because we're attracted to something. Yeah. What happens there and what we are experiencing, what we experience at the end of that intensive, we don't even know. Yeah. I mean, at the end of that intensive, I went yeah, very cool. After 3 days, I quit. I fired my coach. Yeah. So, and that's not what you experienced. That's not what the other person experienced. We were attracted to the same thing. It's just and I think you're trying to figure out, so in your side was this way, you're here and you're trying to figure out, here, this needs to be a common thing. No, it doesn't. People need to get to this barrier. And once they break through it, it's just fuck it. They are already here. And each one then will follow their own path. And you still keep trying to make this homogeneous as is here, and it's not.
Oh, sheesh. Oh, man. It's true. It's true. It's and it's one of those things where there's so much truth. I'm I don't know what to do with it, but I know that I think that's a good place. That's a really good place to be. To look at it. Yeah, I'm trying to say on the other side this is what it looks like, and it's no, stop it. Stop trying to say what it is, because it isn't any of those things. And if it's this today, and then tomorrow it's something completely different. Right now you feel lonely. Tomorrow you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine too. You can have all this stuff. Yeah. Right now you're upset. Tomorrow you're not. Yeah. And
at the beginning of the session we are dancing, and in the middle of it we are fucking deep and talking about leadership and who you're being and how you're not leading.
Yeah. It's just once you're past the threshold, everything's open. And
you have so much already till that threshold, Nemo. You have everything. You have done everything you could.
Yeah. It's then now just being. It's just everything that happened. Yeah. You know what it is? This is it. It's I can't try and be a pioneer leader because it's just in my existence I am pioneer leading. As long as I'm not when I am trying to be a pioneer leader is the time that I'm most not a pioneer leader.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a quote that I love. Let's see if I translate it properly in English. It's we have so many expectations to be that we are not. You have so many expectations to be a pioneer leader that you're not. I have so many expectations to be an insatiable leader and be perceived as such that I'm not being authentic and leading as it happens. And today I was just this is my boss. She told me when I was 20, I didn't know how to do anything in an Excel file. I'd be super honest. And I'm going to coach her. I'm just what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I think you put yourself so much pressure in who you need to be as a leader that you are that you don't even realize that you're leading.
Yeah.
And today you have led. Showing up is leading. And I think you keep falling into the trap that you are hiding just because you have an image of a pioneer leader that you are not reaching. And in the meantime, I think you're undermining all the presence that you have and how visible you are and how you make other people feel visible and different with their own uniqueness.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. It really is, and I'm mindful of time. I'm good. I know that you had to leave, so I'm good. But like this has been such a service to me because it's what I'm coming back to, which is I read my high school yearbook 15 years ago, and it's like how do you want people to remember you as, and it's like freely expressing ideas. And I think it's what I'm getting here is like the more that I'm trying to figure out how to get it right for people is the more that I'm going wrong. It's like just keep doing, and some of the things will line up with people, some of them won't, and people will like some people love my initial Facebook lives. They watch literally only 1 minute, but they're like, I just love the fact that you're trying to figure it out and you're willing to do it in front of all of us, you know, versus having to be right about it. You know, like and so I think you're right. I think you're really right. Like I know you're right, where it's just like just keep being in the world in your naturalness, your natural Nemo-ness will naturally take care of it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Pioneer leaders will connect with you just by you, being and explain and showing what you're up to, what you're feeling in each moment. You'll notice that, they will notice it. And I think it's like what I'm doing. I think we're putting too much pressure saying, I need to lead in a central way, I need to lead as a pioneer leader, or I need to communicate in a certain way so that the other person comes. We just need to be. And then, obviously put ourselves out there in a way that triggers people, but I think we are trying to perfect our approach.
Yeah.
When it's just like owning it and just going and going for it.
Yeah, I love that. I freaking love it. Like that to me, this is to me where the serve versus create comes in. Like you've helped me see that a little bit because like serve is like, well, I can only serve the way that I can serve. When I'm creating, it's a totally different thing. But serve, like, it felt like it would serve us to like celebrate the fact that like we actually have great things going on in our world right now. And I think that is really it. It's like it's not of service to be that's what I'm like. It's not of service for me to try and be the pioneer leader. It is of service for me to just be of service. Like that's the only thing that's being of service, and the way that I choose to be of service will be the pioneer leading way.
I think if you had tried to be a pioneer leader, probably we wouldn't have connected this way. We would have connected in a different way, but maybe not this way.
Yeah. I love it, and I think you're really, thank you. You're really up, like, wow. And this is not the first time it's come up, but it's like I'm trying to create this thing, and it's like, no, you don't get it. It's how you're missing it. It's like how you do anything is how you do everything. Like that is the like you're pioneer leading by just living. You know? Like it's just there's no such thing as a pioneer leader. It's just you. And however you are in that moment is pioneer leadership. Like that's it.
Yeah. End of the problem. I agree.
Yeah. I'm like, huh.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm not try. I'm just gonna be. Thank you for that. I didn't realize that's what I needed, and yet at the same time, I'm
so happy.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
My pleasure. I need to leave, but let's stop because I have another call. But let's stop via WhatsApp to put another date.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, let's do that. It was amazing. I love you. You're awesome. I'll keep you posted with my emails.
Please do. All right.
Bye. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, Niiamah here. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and then go ahead and leave one of your insights from today's video in the comments below. If you're looking to take this deeper, you can go and watch another video, or you can go to niiamah.com/tribe to get exclusive invitation to our tribe member only events. I'll see you soon.